In this video, we are going to work a little bit more with the topography. So in the last one, we established a slope for the Toposolid. And now, as you can see here, the earth hatch is cutting through the structure, and we need to basically remove that. So we're going to start with creating something called a void form, which we'll then kind of cut out of the topography. So I'm going to go to level 1. And basically what we're going to do is create a mass that is the interior space of this basement. And, just to kind of step ahead a little bit, I'm going to measure from this point here to level 1, 9 feet 4 inches. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go to level 1, and I'm going to then go to the massing and site ribbon. This should say show mass form and floors, and then I'm going to click on in place mass. Now, you may want to change the settings for this so that you can see pretty much everything that's below there. So I've changed the visual style to wireframe, just temporarily, and we're going to make this void. Basically, it's going to go from this interior face of the foundation wall. So this line right here is the footing below. So we want to kind of disregard that. Okay, so in place mass is what I want to do. You can just accept the name that is given by default. And what I'm going to do is click on the rectangle tool, and I'm going to snap to these two corners. This one here. Again, I want to make sure I'm not snapping to the footing, but I'm snapping to the face of the foundation wall. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, let's go to section 1. Okay, I'll go back to level 1 and click on that. I'm going to create a form from that. So I'm clicking here. So I'll choose the void form. Because again, we're trying to make, kind of subtract this out. Right now, let's see if I can go to section 1. So you can see here, it is pushing it upward from there. And I want to make this go downward 9 feet 4 inches. Okay, so you can see now it's kind of filling that space below. And while I'm still in this, I'm going to go to the cut geometry tool. Let's go back to section 3, or section 1 rather. Okay, so it's going to ask me to select the solid geometry to be cut. And I want to choose the topography. Okay, then the void. So that's when I will pick this void form here. And you can see it is now subtracted that from the topography. And I can click on Finish Mass. Okay, now the topography is still cutting through the foundation wall and the slab, and I can do that also by using this cut geometry tool, picking the topographic solid and then picking individual items here. So I'm going to do this and go through this whole process. Here's the slab. I'll do it for the footing. Let's try that again. Pick the topography or the Toposolid. and go to cut, pick the Toposolid, and then whatever it is that I want to kind of remove from that. So let's try this one more time. Cut, and then the footing. So basically, we don't want the hatch to go through the foundation walls, the footing, or the concrete slab. All right, now I'm going to repeat these steps for this one that has a crawl space. So again, I'm going to measure how big that void mass needs to be, 5 feet 8 inches. And I'll take it through the same process. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with level 1. And I need to first identify where this void form needs to be. So, because I have set it to wireframe, there's a lot of things happening here, but basically this right here is the foundation wall. So what I'm going to do is go back to massing and site, show mass form and floors, in place mass. This one will be called mass 2, or if you have other masses in your file, whatever the next number is. I'm going to use the rectangle tool here, and I'm going to snap to this point right here and the opposite corner over here. And I'll do the same thing, create void form. And let's go to section 1 and see what we have. So again, that measurement that I took was minus 5 feet 8 inches. So there it goes all the way down. And you can see that I misdimensioned. So I am going to cancel this one, and I'm going to repeat that process. So again, go to level 1. I guess that I must have picked the footing line. I want the foundation wall. So let's repeat the steps. Massing and site, in place mass, mass number 2. Use the rectangle tool. This time I'm going to snap to the inside of the foundation wall. It's here and here. I'm going to go to create form, void form. And then I will go to section 1, change that value to minus 5 feet 8 inches. And you can see it's dropped down, so it's sitting at the top of the slab. And I will go ahead and use the cut geometry. I'll pick the topo surface. I'll then pick the mass, or actually the void mass. And you can see it's subtracted that out. Finish mass. So lots of steps to do this, but if you kind of go one by one, everything should be okay. I'm going to use the cut tool, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the full basement. Again, this is the crawl space. The structure has the crawl space. Geometry here and the footing. And we've removed all that earth hatch. Now, the only other one that needs to be done is this one here. So I'm going to, and I don't have to go through all those steps with the creating the void mass. I just need to pick, I'm using cut geometry, pick the topo surface, and pick these thickened slab edges. So you can see now that it's no longer going all the way through. Right, so that is all you need to do for this step.